Hello, fellow paranormal enthusiasts. I am Crystal Diff, Program Coordinator with Charlotte County Libraries and History, and your host for Fringe Paranormal. Today's episode, we're going to talk about a UFO sighting that happened near Cayo Palau, which is close to Gasparilla Island and Boca Grande area, Cape Hayes area, right at the mouth of Charlotte Harbor. And this sighting actually was noted by a lot of people in Punta Gorda. So it was actually citizens of Punta Gorda that noticed this big flash of light all the way out from Cayo Palau. We get this story from Colonel Wallace Chadman's journal. He was actually an attorney in Punta Gorda at this time in the early 1900s, late 1800s. He was part of the Punta Gorda Commercial Club, which actually turned into the Chamber of Commerce in 1926. And he also wrote some short stories. He contributed to different newspapers like the Tampa Times and the Fort Myers News Press. Now, this article that I'm talking about today, that I'm discussing today, is actually from the Fort Myers News Press, and it was published on the 28th of April in 1965. So a good amount of time passed from the actual incident that took place and the publishing of this article. Now, the first witness to this was actually Cecil Malachi, who was a retired Signal Corps messenger in the military. So he had worked with radar, radios, different intelligence and communications. So I'm sure that he saw a decent amount of different technology over his time. And he was the first one that he ran into Punta Gorda. He said he saw a strange light, almost looked like it crashed down over into the Cayo Palau area. And at first, he really just thought that it was a boat or a ship that was in distress. At this point in time, the early 1900s, this was a big area for shipping. Gasparilla Island was a big shipping port. Punta Gorda had a decent amount of shipping going in and out. So there were lots of boats and ships coming in and out of the area. So that was his first thought, is somebody needs help, somebody's in distress. So he ran into, I guess, the first place that he could find, which was a Madame Pilchard's beverage parlor. And so once he ran in there, he told everybody the story. He was trying to get everybody to come out and help. People went outside to see if they could see the light. And that's when we get these multiple witnesses. Basically, everybody that was in the parlor at that time became a witness to this light that was being cut across the sky and landing over in Cayo Palau. So one of the members of this witness party was actually Captain Jack Davis, and they created a search and rescue party so that they can go out with a flotilla and different boats so that they could try to help whoever was in trouble out there. When they went out there, they actually found a man who was wading through the mangroves on one of the smaller islands near Cayo Palau. And he kind of hailed everybody down, and they picked him up, and they escorted the man back into Punta Gorda and into the parlor in town. So, they sat him down, everybody had some drinks, some sodas and things like that. And he told everybody that he was from another planet, that his name was Versura, and that he was from the planet Empiria, and that and everybody was very astonished. He did not look like an extraterrestrial creature, things that we know of today, like gray aliens like we have right here. He just looked like a regular man from Earth. So they were a little astonished at first, but I guess they also trusted him a little bit more because of how he looked. He didn't look strange to them, he just looked like a normal person. So they were all able to just talk for the whole night. He said that his planet, Imperia, was on the opposite side of the sun from Earth, and that it had the same ecliptic, only diametrically opposed in orbit and equidistant from the sun as Earth, and it also had the same diameter and size, or very close to the same diameter and size, comparable to Earth. So Imperia sounds like it would be very similar to our planet Earth. So I'm going to read a little bit of the article of the Fort Myers News Press. The title of this is Wallace Chadman's Journal Discloses Visits from UFOs in His Day Too. And some of the excerpts about, or from Versura, talking about his planet Imperia and why he's here, why he was interested in Earth. So here we go. We discovered your Earth quite by accident many years ago. We were trying to reach our moon, and when our spaceships left Imperia's field of gravity, the pilots were shocked when they saw Imperia disappearing as it orbited the sun. The greatest shock was yet to come for them. While they were soaring around, along came another planet, which we later determined was your Earth. Your astronomers have been unable to see Imperia because we have always been hidden by the sun, just as Earth was always hidden from us. He also talks about how they were able to get to Earth, what their flight plan kind of looks like, and what their space flight consisted of. And it says that they learned that it was relatively easy to escape the gravitational pull of Imperia and just sit out there in space and wait for the Earth to come along. So it sounds like it was very easy to get here. They just kind of put their spaceship out into orbit, got away from the gravitational pull of their planet, and somehow just got pulled into Earth's gravitational pull, and that's how they would get here. It also discusses how long it took. They were saying, or Versura was saying, that it took them about 6 months at first, and then they were able to just find very quick ways to get to Earth. They also have the same yearly cycle that we do. So a year on Imperia is about the same as on Earth. So when he's talking about time in the article, the time should be about the same as Earth's time. And after he told all of these stories, he talked about his home planet of Imperia, described some things there in his homeland, and afterwards, all of the witnesses that were just kind of sitting around and talking to them, to Versura, they asked if they could tell anybody about all of this information. They were excited. They have met somebody from another planet. What do we do with this information? Are we allowed to tell it? Will we get in trouble if we tell anybody that you're here? That kind of a thing. But he said, you can tell people that you have talked to me. It's all right, because no one will ever believe you anyway. So that kind of goes into a lot of other UFO sightings as well, where a lot of people are in disbelief that anything like this can take place. But he stayed around until it was almost dawn, and then they took Versura back to the island that they got him from so that he could get back to his ship. Apparently his ship did not crash, and that he really wasn't in any kind of trouble, but maybe just a little bit lost along the way. He was supposed to get to a conflict in the Sahara Desert, they said. So they got him back to his ship, and they just watched him take off, and they said that the whole sky was lit up as his pancake-looking vehicle rose from behind the cabbage palms and suddenly shot straight up and out of sight. So just like that, Versura was gone. So this is, I think, one of the only instances that I can see from Punta Gorda area where people are talking about having an extraterrestrial being actually land here and walk amongst people. But going into Colonel Wallace Chadman's history, it's not always believed that this story took place and that we were actually visited by Versura from Imperia, because Colonel Chadman was known for his short storytelling. So some people think that instead of this being an actual diary or journal entry, that it was more of just an imaginative story that he came up with. So we will not know. I cannot talk to Colonel Wallace Chadman anymore. He has passed away. So if anybody knows any more information on this, I do know that the Farr family ended up with his journal. The Farr family is also very well known in the Punta Gorda area. But I have not been able to read the diary excerpts myself. So if you have any more information on that, please let me know. You can always add it to our discussion board, where I will be adding this article to as well. And that is padlet.com/history services/Fringe Paranormal. So you can go on there and read this article and give me your thoughts on what you think. Do you think that we were visited by Versura from Imperia? Do you think it's just another tall tale that was created by Colonel Chadman? Or maybe you know of some more articles and information that are being collected that pertain to Colonel Chadman's life and storytelling. So let us know, and I'll be keeping that discussion board open for the foreseeable future. We are transitioning the Fringe Paranormal group back to an in-person meeting. Now, I know a lot of you have been listening and watching online, and I greatly appreciate that. But we are going to be just going to meet in person at the Mid-County Regional Library here in Port Charlotte. So keep an eye out for all of those meeting dates on the library and county calendars. We're going to be meeting every first Tuesday of the month, beginning August 3rd, 2021, from 6 to 7 p.m. And it's a free program, so you can participate for free. It doesn't cost anything to join us. And it's just designed to bring people together who are interested in learning more about the paranormal, especially in the Charlotte County area in Florida. And we talk about historic to current phenomenon. So be sure to check that out. And again, if you can't meet with us in person, please reach out. We will still have the discussion board available, so you can express your thoughts on there, and I will continue to post information and history tidbits about paranormal sites in the area, as long as you all are ready to continue being interested in these paranormal subjects. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to see some of you at our next in-person meeting on August 3rd, 2021. Thank you.